Hi, I'm Jill Whiting. This is for Accounting 6100, and I'm reviewing the article Budgeting Revisited out of Strategic Finance magazine. In this article, there were four different business directors, CFOs, or managers that spoke to the idea of changing budgeting within their company structure and the benefits and challenges of doing so. Our first author was Martin Zwisig. He's the CFO of Rehau, and he talked about traditional budgeting, and it's not really feasible in the fast-paced world that we live in currently. We need to go beyond budgeting and establish new measurements of performance for management and appropriate compensation for that. Planning and budgeting success is dependent upon lean processes. We can't spend our time evaluating budgets and using that much workforce that where it can be used in other ways. Lean processes, keeping it simple and flexible, are important. Bottom up, strategic planning is always important. It's important to have the employees feel that they have an influence and that it's not just coming from management, this is how you're going to do it, but that they can have some say in it, and it helps to make them more productive workers. Relevance of the budgeting needs to reflect the company's strategy. Our next CFO is Mark Mathis, and was the CFO of Tridental Implants. He emphasized scenario planning, that it would support the budgeting process, looking at different scenarios and trying to plan for them so that we're not stuck in one budgeting rut, that we're able to be flexible and adjust to different situations that come to us. Traditional budgeting has value, but it needs improvement. And with traditional budgeting, there's always a clear agenda. We need to make sure that things are communicated no matter what type of budget that we try to implement. Budget targets are important in planning your strategy. You can do these annually. However, it's better to look back at them and reevaluate more frequently, perhaps even quarterly, to determine whether your target strategy is still feasible, and just be willing to adjust that as time goes on. We have Franz Wernsberger. He's the Hilti Managing Director, and he suggested that innovative budgeting is leading with strategic targets and working beyond command and control. Like I said before, we can't just take straight from the top down. We need to be able to work together with strategy and being willing to adjust our target. We don't need absolutes. We need to be flexible and lean in our budgeting. Driving factors for change can include linking the bonuses to that strategic target rather than the budget targets. It's important to look at actual trends in our budgeting and not just actual compensation. Leadership needs to combine its learnings with research and make those changes in that way as well. Felix Hess also worked for Hilti Global, and he was the finance director. He added that performance management benefits are flexible, and we need to work with our finance team and to complete our forecasting. It's important to have a goal in mind and know where you're headed. Flexible planning updates are important, and after the traditional budgeting, it's important to look at and make sure that you have clear objectives and that you always have the support of the board of directors and executives, so that as employees are working, that they're all working together and not working against their upper management. That would not create a great culture for a company's success. In conclusion, innovative budgeting is important for corporate culture. You start at the top down, but then you transition from the bottom up to help create strategic goals and targets and scenario planning. You need to have a compensation system and be able to help employees feel their worth in budgeting and trying to achieve their goals. And always, always remember to be flexible in your planning. That's how innovative budgeting can work for a company and work for you. Thanks.